Welcome back to another video where we try and expand the tyranid Leviathan force that I've got. So currently I have the Tyranid which is painted to completion in the new colour scheme that I want it to be. So what we're going to be adding to that now is, this is a test model of a Zoanthrope that I've been using for ages and he's just got layers and layers of paint on. That's going to be added today. We're going to paint that up. So obviously I've got a Venomthrope and a Zoanthrope painted already. Again, this was the old kit what I had, and I built two Zoanthropes and one Venomthrope. And then we're going to add to that a nice unopened box, get out of the way, of Venomthropes. We're going to build one Venomthrope from this. I'm going to build the Neurothrope, which is on the back there. So I'm going to build the Neurothrope, and I'm going to build two more Zoanthropes. So in total, that will put my army at two Venomthropes and three Zoanthropes and the Neurothrope. So let's crack this open and begin. Alright, so we have extracted the miniatures from the sprues. They're spare parts, so they will go away somewhere. So now we have the Neurothrope. Again, this head comes off, just makes it easier for painting. This guy has a wobbly head because apparently the joint was a bit loose. So we've got another Zoanthrope. Obviously we've got the test model Zoanthrope that's all multicolours. This Zoanthrope is just going to need the Carapace doing again so it matches my new colour scheme, and the brain's going to need doing again because I want that to be blue rather than pink because the blue stands out more. And finally the Venomthrope, which will go along with my other. So I'll have two Venomthropes, three Zoanthropes and a Neurothrope to add to the swarm. Now all we've got to do is paint them. Right, let's get cracking. So once I've got all the models sprayed with the Wraithbone base coat, so that's a good even coverage all over, what I'm going to do first is I'll take Wraithbone paint and we're just going to use this to kind of even out any patches and whatnot over the model. But basically this gives us a kind of ground to work from, because obviously Wraithbone spray can be different to the Wraithbone paint once it's dry. So we'll just use that, put it all over, get a nice even coverage, just one coat will do. And then next up, what we do after that is we'll take a kind of 2:1/50/50 mix, depending on your preference, of Carapace, Crimson and Lamia medium. And we're just going to put this all over the model and just watch out for pooling and stuff. So if it does pool, I kind of just tend to just dry my brush off, wick away the paint and then carry on. Let that fully dry, so you don't want to get messing with the wash while it is drying because you can cause tide marks and whatnot. And then final step, what we're going to do to get that skin completely done, which is pretty quick for 3 easy steps, is take Screaming Skull and we're just going to dry brush this all over the model. Can build this, you can build it up in one quick dry brush, but it tends to leave a bit of an undesirable texture for me personally. So what I tend to do is do a light dry brush, let that dry, then I'd go in with another dry brush and potentially a third, depending on the coverage, just to give it that kind of even coat. Same as you do with your paint and layering and building it up like that. It's what I do with the dry brushing as well, just to get a nice even coverage. So where we're at now, so we've just done the dry brush on the skin. So that's all that done now. And then kind of finished up this guy. So this one's done with the blue spraying. A bit of the black paint has peeled off there, so we'll have to just go back and finish that. This other Venomthrope, sorry. This other one, I've painted the Carapace back to black. And I'll have to do the purple on that. And then this one is still multicoloured because I forgot to spray it when I did these ones, so he's not at the same stage as these. So next up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to firstly take contrast black Templar. I find this easier to build up the layers, so I'll use this first and then I'll go back over with a solid black just to get the Carapace colour. I just find it easier. I was doing multiple layers with the black, but the contrast paint seems to give a better base coat. It's still like blotchy, but it gives a better coverage, better base coat for that final layer of black, and then it's onto the purple. And I've just realised that I haven't painted the red in between his muscle tears. Okay, so on to that. So there's going to be a time lapse of me doing that now. Let's go. So onto the Zoanthrope sprayed, we're just going to take Aquamarine from the Army Painter Fanatic range, get two nice thin coats to get a nice opaque colour, and for the Venomthrope sprayed, if you can call it that, we're going to use Screamer Pink from Citadel, again thinning that down and getting nice two thin coats. So now for the iconic tyranid marks on their Carapace. First colour is we're going to take Nagaroth Night, and we're just going to use this to mark out kind of a guide for our lines. Next up, we're going to use Xerius Purple, and again we're going to paint within those first marks just to get a gradient going. Then the next colour is we're going to take from the Army Painter range Warlock Magenta, and we're just going to paint a smaller section within those previous lines. And then finally, just taking Enchanted Pink from the Army Painter range, and we're just going to kind of dot the ends of each of the lines to give it a kind of an edge highlight, if you can. So for some finishing touches now, we're going to take Draconoff Nightshade first, and we're going to paint this over the brain of the Zoanthrope and Neurothropes just to give them a bit of definition. Moving on to the Venomthrope now, we're going to take Pink Horror and we're going to highlight up the brain, leaving the Screamer Pink just in the deepest recesses. Then we're going to use Aquamarine from the Armour Painter range, and we're just going to use this just to pick out all the veins and whatnot on the brain of the Venomthrope. Then putting a layer of Nulnul over the base. Now I did add the snow texture paste off camera, I didn't record this, but I put that on as well once the Nulnul had dried. Now with the Venomthrope spraying, I did think the harshness between the two colours where I've highlighted it up was a bit in your face kind of thing, so I just washed that down all over with a Caribou Crimson. Okay, so there we have it. They are all complete from that kit. So we've got let's get him in shot. We've got the Neurothrope. So these have been matte varnished with a spray, just so I don't keep chipping the paint off. So that's the Neurothrope. Then we've got the two Venomthropes, all done with their blue brains. Look pretty sick. And the Venomthrope. So just grab the other one. So now that puts me up to 3 Venomthropes. move these down here. Whoop. 3 Venomthropes and a Zoanthrope, so that's another HQ I've got. I've got 2 Venomthropes. I'm probably going to keep it at that because I'm happy with just 2. We've got the, if we can get it in shot, we've got the Tyranid and completed up the Winged Hive Tyrant. No, I didn't do it. I kind of did a video for this, kind of didn't, but got the Winged Hive Tyrant done. So I'm not too sure points wise. I know it's not a legal army currently because I haven't got no troops. Well, look, I've got troops, but I need to repaint their carapaces to match this style. So the bodies are fine, it's just I've got to repaint the carapaces. But yeah, super happy with how these turned out. Absolutely love the new Zoanthrope. Looks absolutely class, in my opinion. The matte varnish kind of gives it just a little bit of a kind of sheen that looks quite nice on the carapace. But yeah, so that's my Tyranid force currently up to date. So if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, leave any comments below of whatever. Not too sure what you leave comments for, but if you want to, leave them, and I'll catch you in the next one.